Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. You make it back to the Section M main building, and just as the sun is setting,
I look for dinner.
Dinner is served. There's not as many people here today. Major Seraph is missing from the table. Alec Towton is also missing from the table. But there are some good rabbit and potatoes and carrots that are being served, and everybody seems to enjoy themselves eating that food. There are no celebrities or people of note that are not part of the ones that you've already mentioned before at the table tonight.
Mm-hmm. Did Sally make it to the table?
Yep, Sally's there. She's eating. She's having polite conversation.
Yep, just have dinner, I guess.
Okay. Dinner is delicious. Afterwards, you are served some kind of a pudding. Some kind of a weird kind of firm pudding, but when you crack it, when you push down on it, it kind of cracks open and there's something like gooey inside.
Yeah.
Is it like figgy?
I mean, it might be figs. I think figs are made with wasps, so.
Well, I won't be eating that.
Figs are made with wasps?
Yeah, like, if you want to go down a really disgusting...
in order for a fig tree to become fertilized, a wasp has to plant an egg in the seed?
Oh, I see.
Or something crazy like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, how can I love fig Newtons so much?
Yeah, fig wasps are wasps of the superfamily Lapalapalapala, which spend their larval stage inside figs. So when you eat a fig, just remember that wasps have been inside doing their thing.
I mean...
Of what family?
Yes, edible figs do include at least one dead female wasp.
Well, there you go. It's just a close relationship with your pollinators.
Yeah.
Do you mean Vespoidea?
You've seen
Yep.
Okay.
And if that horror doesn't keep you awake at night, then keep listening, dear listener.
I haven't had a good night's sleep since 1978 when I met Steven. I don't even remember.
Well, it's about to get worse.
Yeah, I know. It always does.
I mean, the wasp is dead.
Right. You can eat
the wasp. It takes more than one dead bug to keep me away from food. But, like, what's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
Half a worm.
Half a worm.
Half a worm. Yep.
Okay. So we have lunch.
Dinner.
Do we think it is safe for us to have a discussion here and not have millions of people overhear it?
Dinner time?
Yeah.
I mean, depends who you're worried about. If you're worried about other...
It also depends on you. It also depends on you, dear listener. Why aren't you spreading the word, leaving good reviews, telling all your friends to listen to Critical Hit? We could have millions of people listening to this conversation, but we're not. You're all over there watching YouTube.
By the way, we're on YouTube.
It's not a podcast.
And if we get more patrons, we can wean Steven off that super strong stuff that he's been drinking that makes him talk like this. I'm not sure what it is.
Zero sugar.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, zero restraint.
Practically battery acid.
Well, I just wondered.
That explains my cheery attitude today.
Yeah.
Blisco's been having them nightmares. And I wonder if we think it might be
just Blisco has been having nightmares?
Well, Blisco's been having it the worst, I guess I should say. Do we think it might be beneficial for he and or we and or whomever to have a sedative administered by a medical pseudo professional?
No. If here's the thing, I like the rest of you haven't been sleeping well when we've been here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly something's going on. We've identified that something's going on simply by virtue of the fact that our control group, the Brigadier, is sleeping just fine because he has the stone. So we know something's going on. So far, the only one among us that's kind of a lucid dreamer is Blisco. So we actually need him to see if he can like figure this out while he's sleeping and get any more information. Especially since he's already had contact with Dilbert, who is now missing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also haven't known Blisco to have difficulty falling asleep.
Not usually.
So I say, let's finish dinner. Maybe have, what do we have, like a brandy?
Yeah, sure.
And
With Alex Houghton out, the Brigadier seems more than happy to share his finest brandies with everybody who wants to indulge, including Sally, who even opens up the cigar box and lights up a stogie and says, Houghton will never know. Hoo-hoo.
So yeah, and let's enjoy dinner and then try to get some rest. And everybody keep an eye out in your dreams in case something weird happens.
Okay. So you all go to your respective rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been made up. Your arrival has been heralded because of the great deed that you did in Romania, the two great deeds you did in Romania. And so there's a little bit of chocolate, which is very hard to come by, on each of your pillows.
Oh.
And there's, a fresh scent, like your sheets have been washed.
Is that unusual?
It might be. Who knows? I don't think that most households would have had the sheets washed every day.
Mm.
Although these people are fancy, though. This guy's like a Viscount or whatever. So
yeah.
He's a yeah.
And do you guys do anything before you go to bed?
Eat some chocolate.
Okay, it's good. It's actually for British chocolate. It's not bad.
British chocolate is generally better than American chocolate.
I'll read a little bit of The King in Yellow.
Okay. If you would, please roll me a will plus resilience D3.
Is this a fear or panic?
Yes.
Roll. Okay. Then I would like to use my Dauntless thing to get an extra die without having to spend a momentum.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey, 3 successes. You open up the book and, even though it's been a few days, you've kind of forgotten everything that's happened. And as you start to read the first line, you're like, why don't I remember this first line of this play? And you begin reading Act 1, Scene 1. And sure enough, it's the person Casilda who is, I don't know, is she the princess? Is she the suitor? What is the queen? What is going on? Everybody's talking about the king is coming. The king is coming. And there seems to be some kind of espionage or something. It's confusing to you, but it's highly addicting. And then just as you start to get into Act 2, you fall asleep.
Okay.
And you realize that you are on these vast plains, tall grass all around, and you're running. And you're running. And you're running across the plains. And you just can't stop running. Carlos, you just keep running until suddenly you hear somebody off in the distance shouting for help.
I'll go see what that's about.
You turn and you run over and you crest a small hill, and down below you can see Alec Touton and Sally Armitage are surrounded by ghouls. And these ghouls are attempting to attack both of them. They're slashing out with their slashery claws, and they're gnashing with their gnashly teeth. And they're taking some damage, and Touton is having a difficult time in fighting off these creatures. You also notice that the engineer from the blimp is also there, and it's almost like Touton and Sally are trying to protect him from these ghouls, but the ghouls are pretty ravenous, and they keep leaping out and taking bites. Their jaws are biting into Johannes Vester, and he is screaming in pain and is contorting and writhing in pain. And then you feel a tap on your shoulder.
What is it?
Oh, hello. It is me, Count Duke JMT. Hello, Carlos. It's good to see you again. I didn't think I would see you again, but here you are, standing right here on the plains of Ling. Oh, so good to see you. And he grabs you and he hugs you. Mwah, mwah.
Oh, yeah.
You had rabbit for dinner.
Yeah. It's good to see you too, Duke Count.
Oh, it's Count Duke.
Sorry,
yes,
sorry.
Count Duke JMT. That is me. This is very interesting down there, what's happening, yes?
So you said these are the plains of Ling?
Yes, the plains of Ling.
I have heard of that before.
Oh, of course, everyone who's smart has heard of the plains of Ling, and you're a very smart man, I can tell. Very, very smart, although it seems like you're missing probably the bigger picture here.
Missing the bigger picture.
And he kind of, throws his arms wider, and as you kind of look beyond the circle of ghouls attacking Sally Armitage and Alec Touton and Johannes Vester, you see kind of around in a much larger circle around and down below on the hill. So it's like you crest the hill, unless you were looking directly down, you wouldn't have seen them. You see men and probably women. You just see a bunch of figures in red robes with their hands raised up in the air, and they're all chanting something. And they seem to be controlling the ghouls. Oh, these men are very dangerous. I forget what they're called, but very bad men. Yes. So come with me, Carlos, and he puts his arm around you and is attempting to turn you away from the carnage below.
Well, shouldn't I help them?
I mean, he looks you up and down. Unless you want to die.
Well, what if they die?
They're just people. Granted, that one, and he points at Touton, he's kind of important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How are you going to stop them? Look at all these men in the red robes. Look at all them ghouls. It's just you.
I don't know. Am I armed?
You've got two arms, a left arm and a right arm. Duke JMT tells the best jokes, no?
Oh, for sure.
You should laugh a little bit more, Carlos.
Okay.
Yes, there you go.
Is there like a rock or something I can roll onto the people chanting since I'm above them?
No, not really. The plains of Ling are pretty much plains.
Pretty planar,
Far off in the distance, you can start to see some mountains rising up. And if you look higher and higher and higher up into the mountains, you can see what looks like a temple way up there. And way up into that temple, it looks like there's a figure clothed in yellow robes. And his arms are extended out. I also welcome you, Carlos.
All right. You calm down. I haven't gotten to that part of the plane yet.
Oh, you've read The King in Yellow. Yes. Very bad man.
Yeah, well, it kind of didn't give me a choice.
Once you start, you cannot stop.
Well, that's why I'm going to get to the end.
One way or another, yes, you will.
Okay.
So, what is on your mind? Why have I been called here to the plains of Ling to meet with the great Carlos?
I need to help these guys. Our organization was trying to prevent the Nazis from going to you
Very
know
bad.
where
Yes.
and
Yes.
opening the you know what with the you know
Yes,
what.
yes. I know why. Oh, that Wessler. He's a horrible man. We've
And
defeated him once, and
so
I know you can defeat him again.
they are these people are in our team and they are being eaten in their dreams and it's taking a toll on them and I need that to stop. So do I need to find where these red robe guys are in real life? Is there
That's what
something
I would do. That's what I would do. Yes, yes.
is there any way for
really-
me to
Go ahead.
please?
Is there any way to what?
Is there any way for me to figure out where they are at?
This is not your dream to figure that out.
It's not my dream.
I mean, you're dreaming. That's why I was called here. But somebody else is going to have a dream that may answer all of that. Or maybe not.
Okay.
It depends on if they follow the clues, which they've apparently been having for at least 32 episodes now.
Oh, I see.
I am the great Count Duke JMT. I see all, I hear all.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I'll leave those guys alone then.
Yes, yes. Walk with me, please, Carlos.
Sure.
The plains of Ling are vast, as you can see. You look out in that direction, grass and waves of grain and things and ghouls and a mountain far off with that guy up there who's not a good guy. Let me tell you, he's not good.
Mm-hmm.
You should have avoided him the first time you met him.
I tried.
But the plains of Ling are part of the Dreamlands. And though I was hundreds of miles away, enjoying my own time, enjoying my own sleep, I'm a very old man, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
I need my sleep. Especially now that you've taken the amulet away from me, my sleep is even more important.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is the Dreamlands are so vast and so large, but you can traverse great distances instantaneously.
Okay. How do I do that?
You need to get into the Dreamlands and go to where you want to go.
Okay.
Let me ask you these, Carlos. From what I understand, you've been trying to get to Russia how many times now?
I don't know. I guess we've made maybe 2 attempts.
But what has happened all the other times where you thought about going to Russia?
I don't know. Something else comes up, I guess.
Something else always comes up. Yes, good. You're paying attention. Ha ha! The Count Duke JMT knew you could do it. Listen, have you heard of, not karma, what is the word I'm looking for where you say something out into the universe and the universe responds? What is that called?
I don't know, manifesting?
Ah, yes, manifesting. That's right. When you manifest a desire, the universe listens. And unfortunately, it appears that every time you guys bring up Russia and you're manifesting a mission to Russia, someone says, isn't it winter time? Isn't it a bad idea to go to Russia? Oh, we need to go on this side quest to go and rescue these people and get a blimp. Oh, no, there's something dangerous there. You're not ready yet. It's almost like there's something preventing you from going to Russia every time you manifest going on the physical plane to go to Russia.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it usually seems like it's common sense that's stopping us.
I mean, magic could take the form of common sense.
That's fair.
Sometimes you try to manifest something and something out there doesn't want the manifestation to happen. And so they send something out. Maybe it's a rat that bites on your finger. Maybe it is a drug that some very wise, very beautiful Count Duke JMT slips to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe many other things, like a storm. Or one of them flying flappy things that attack you in your planes.
Sure.
Well, do
Okay.
you have any other questions about this? Does this make sense to you?
I mean, it does. So, uh, would you recommend that we just try to push against it, or like, can we counter manifest it?
Hey, listen, I'm an old man. It's a time for me to do my business. I can't answer that question right now because I got to go. I'm going to instantly go from the Dreamlands right back to the place that I was at, and I will be able to do my business and go back to sleep. Carlos,
Right.
It was wonderful to see you again. He shakes your hand, claps you on your back. It is so good. It is so nice. And as he is saying this, I've got to go now. No, seriously, I've got to really go now. And he fades away and is gone.
Bye.
And you are standing on the plains of Ling. And then you
Okay.
wake up.
But
Doc,
Yes.
is there anything you did before you went to sleep?
I probably also ate the chocolate because why not? What's the word?
Tasty,
Nudge.
buttery chocolate.
Buttery taste.
Yeah, this is Dutch chocolate. It's the good stuff.
Ooh. That is interesting. Okay.
And you
Yeah.
fade off to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you wake up next to a shed by a pond.
Wake up.
I mean, you close your
some
eyes.
value.
The next thing you know, your eyes are open and you are standing next to a pond and a shed. A large shed.
All right. Does the pond look ominous?
The pond does look kind of ominous in the dark.
Oh,
You hear
then I will
croakings of frogs
the
and chitterings of hard-shelled creatures in the darkness.
Okay.
Wasps
I'll
impregnating figs.
Stop it.
Hey,
Yeah, I
you're
will
sleeping now.
try to investigate. Try to investigate the shed and see if I can find some sort of light-giving device.
I mean, you're outside the shed. There's no light switches out here. You were here earlier.
Right. So I would like try to maybe enter the shed and see if maybe there's a lantern or something.
Sure. How are you going to do that?
Is the door locked?
You touch the door and your hand passes right through the door.
That makes perfect sense to me right now. I just realized that obviously I have to pass through the door. So I'll
All
just
right.
walk
So you
through.
walk through the door and you are in the garden shed and the light is on and you see the gardener that you saw earlier. And he is sitting on a sack of grain and he's looking at something.
What is he looking at?
So you go up to him and you go around and you look and you notice that he is looking at a collection of erotic prints.
Oh,
And this probably explains why he was acting weird when he closed the door earlier.
good, because I thought that was very strange.
Yeah. The door opens up and the gardener is startled and he quickly is folding up his collection of erotic prints and stuffing them under a bin of grain, a bag of grain, or seeds, a bag of seeds. And in walks the door, walks another of the gardening staff. Oh, hello, Frederick. And the gardener who's been sitting there, who's obviously his name is Frederick, responds back, "Oh, Hans. Yes. Hello. How are you? Well, I've got to hang up my gardening gear for the night, I guess." And so he goes over and he takes off his outer coat, and then he's got like an inner jacket, some kind of a red jacket that's tucked down into his pants. And it's got a red hood that he's been wearing because it still is a little chilly in the evenings in May. And he takes off his muddy work boots and he puts on a pair of regular boots that people would wear. And he's like, turns around and says, "Frederick, you probably shouldn't be looking at those pictures as much as you do. It's not good for you. Yeah, what do you know? Get out of here." And the man is like, okay, fine. And as he walks out the door into the dark, you see him flip up the hood to this like jacket that he's wearing.
So is it a red jacket or is it like some sort of...
It's
weird...
something that is, it looks like a jacket, what you know as a jacket, like a hoodie, kind of jacket, but it does look like it's tucked into his pants. And
I know the reason. Unfortunately, Doc doesn't.
After the person leaves, the gardener goes back, looks around, goes back to the place where he hid his collection of erotic prints and pulls it out, and he can tell that one of the mice suddenly has been chewing on one of the prints, and he's very upset about this, and he's getting very angry, and he's getting very agitated, and he starts yelling at the dang mice, and then suddenly he grabs his chest, and he falls over on the floor, and he's not moving.
Perform first aid. First aid.
Oh, your hands pass through him.
So I can't affect him at all.
No. You can't affect him at all.
What?
You turn and you look, and there, standing next to you, is Herbert West. Hello! I've been waiting to see you again. You've been avoiding me. You shouldn't avoid me. I don't like it when people avoid me.
In my defense, you are very dead.
No, I'm not dead. Merely missing. Or that's the way I want everyone to think, is that I'm missing. That's right, missing. What do we have here? And he kicks the gardener, and the gardener's body moves. Oh, a dead body. Oh, Nicholas, you know what to do with a dead body. And Herbert West reaches behind his back and he pulls out a giant syringe with like a giant needle. The needle's got to be like 6 inches long. And it's filled with a glowing green goo of some kind of a liquid. And you see Herbert West push the plunger a little bit, and a little bit squirts out. He's like, come on, Doc. You know you want to. Come on, Nicholas. You know you want to. You know you want to. Come on. Do it. You want to be just like me, don't you? You want to be just like me. You want to conquer life and death.
I don't do that stuff anymore, okay? I don't do that stuff anymore.
That's what you say, but deep down, I know what you're thinking.
No.
Do it.
No.
Just take the needle. Just take it. You can save this man. Isn't that what you want to be? A doctor? You want to save this man?
How can I can't even touch him? You could touch him.
Can't you?
You can save him.
Try it. Take the needle and save his life.
I try and pass my hand through him.
No, he's very solid.
I start CPR.
No, it doesn't work that way. You got to do it with the needle, Doc.
I know.
The man's going to die, and it's going to be all your fault. What happened to your Hippocratic oath? This is your chance to save the man. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. And then you hear other voices chiming in from the darkness. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. And then you hear a woman crying. Do it. Do it. Do it, Doc. Do it. Save the man. Only my formula, your formula, can save this man from dying.
No.
Are you sure? Is this your last answer?
I can't do that stuff anymore.
Are you sure? You could join me, and together our minds could break through even more barriers between life and death.
No.
Very well. And then the chants of the voices, the chorus of voices that were saying, do it, do it, do it, suddenly get very, very quiet, like they've been sucked off to a great distance. But you do hear a woman just crying. Ooh, 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 ooh. And Herbert West grabs you, puts his hands on each side of your head, and he pulls you in close. So he's looking eye to eye with you, like mere inches apart. And he's like, I can't wait to meet you in person, Nicholas. It's going to be such a trip. And you wake up.
That man is the devil.
No, I'm not. You hear echoing someone. Who would like to go next?
It's a trap, you guys. It's a trap.
Really? You think so? Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I feel like I should go because I feel like Blisco should be last.
All right. So what are you going to do before you go to bed?
Well, I might as well partake of that chocolate.
Oh, it's very, very good. It's creamy. It reminds you of some of the French chocolates that you ate while you and Pontus and Antoine. You and Antoine, right?
Antoine,
Yeah. Well, you and Antoine had fun in Paris. And then you fall asleep. And you hear crickets. And you hear frogs. And you are walking out of a forest onto a very, very large plantation. This is, you can see the big white house up there, and you can see somebody rocking in a chair up there. You can see people quickly scurrying around the grounds with bundles of apples and cotton and corn and tobacco. And these people, they put on a very happy face, but you can tell that they are not happy people. You can tell that they have gotten the short end of the stick way too many times.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll go see who's in the rocker.
As you approach the man on the porch, you notice that he is your grandfather. Oh, Nathaniel, I haven't seen you in a coon's age. What have you been getting yourself up to? It certainly isn't working here on the farm, helping your family. You're out gallivanting with that boy, aren't you?
I feel like I've been doing good works.
What kind of good works you been doing?
Oh, fighting evil.
Yeah, how you been fighting evil? You know, your grandmother tried to fight evil a long time ago. Look what that got her.
Well, we all have to follow our own paths.
Yeah, I believe a path has been laid out before you and you hadn't taken it.
I feel like that ain't my path.
Well, I believe your friend Antoine would disagree. Seems like he tried to tell you to learn some magic. You've been wasting your talents.
Mayhaps. Hadn't had a lot of time to practice too much, but
time is a funny thing. You never know how much time you're going to have and when that time's going to be taken from you.
True
you got to
enough.
make a decision what is important in your life. Is it being with this boy? Is it learning magic to fight evil? Is it coming back to work here with your family?
Certainly ain't that.
Is it traversing the wilds of the world?
Perhaps.
You need to figure out what you need to do. You need to figure out your path. Now, listen, I don't pretend to like what you do, but I understand you got to do your own path. Your grandma understands that. It's too bad your mammy and your pappy didn't understand that. But I'm going to let bygones be bygones, providing you get on the right page.
I don't know that you and I are going to see eye to eye on what page is the right page.
I'm pretty sure after tonight, we're never going to see each other again.
Well, that'll be just fine with me.
All right, fine. I can tell that's the way you want to be. I'm just trying to give you some advice. You don't want to listen. You didn't listen when we tried to warn you before, and you're not listening now. Fine, be gone. Just get on. Get out of here.
Gladly. Turn around and start.
Yep, and you wake up. Let's go. What did you do before bed?
Did we were able to recover the book about the lucid dreaming, right?
That was one that you were not able to recover.
That was one. Okay. I'm going to have that chocolate because...
yummy.
Clearly, I was going to eat the chocolate.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go through the meditations as best as possible, because
Okay. You do remember that you were supposed to say
Yeah.
you were supposed to do some deep breathing exercises.
Yeah.
And you remember that you were supposed to chant some words with each breath in and a different set of words as you breathe slowly out, kind of like in a 4-4 pattern. So you like breathe in as you're saying some words or mentally thinking the words, hold it for the same count that you breathed in. Then you breathe out thinking the next group of words and hold it for the amount of the count. And then you repeat that process again and again and again until you find yourself in a large mansion. And you're sitting at the table of a very large mansion. You recognize this mansion. This is the home of Carlos Arbogast. And you are sitting in the main dining area, and the table is just filled with all sorts of meats and vegetables and delectable desserts of all kinds, shapes, and sizes. There's wine if you want wine. There's water if you want water. There's delicious buttermilk on this table as well. And it's all laid out before you. There's a staff of people all around the room. And they have, they're there to wait on you, to feed you.
Let's go look around confused a little bit for a moment. Like, well, this
Yeah,
was...
sure. You look around, and this is familiar because this is a room that has wood paneling that goes up to, it's about 6 feet high. And then above that are windows all the way around the room, except on the far end of the room away from you where Carlos's dad would typically sit. But behind him is a giant portrait behind that place is a giant portrait of Carlos's mother and father. And the father is sitting in a chair, and he's kind of, got his one arm with the hand on his leg kind of propped up, and his right elbow is resting on the arm of the chair, and he's kind of leaning forward with kind of a menacing look. And he's wearing a dapper suit and a nice pair of shoes. And you can tell that he's got an expensive newfangled device called a wristwatch that he is wearing. And he's got a big green ring on one hand. And then standing beside him is a beautiful woman with very dark hair, kind of drawn up into a high kind of, not a bouffant, but a high loose bun on her hair. And she's got a high stiff collar and a little cameo around her neck. And she's standing there with her hand on John Arbogast's shoulders, and they're both kind of staring out with this kind of sly grin on their face, like they know something that you don't. And one of the wait staff comes up and says, "Oh, hello, sir, welcome. Would you like to start with the ham or with the turkey?"
Do I recognize this person from when we were at Carlos's?
Yes.
I will greet him by name.
Yes.
Take the ham, please.
Yes. And he pulls out a big knife, like almost a menacing knife. And he starts cutting into the ham. And the ham, kind of bloody. Bloodier than a ham should probably be, Carlos. And he's just cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. And he pulls off a big, thick slab of this ham. And you can see like blood dripping off of this knife that he used to carve up the ham. And he puts it there in front of you. "Enjoy, sir."
Of course, thank you.
And it tastes good.
Yep.
This is good. Oh man, this is certainly better than running through those grass fields.
Yeah, but the grass fields are what I was expecting. Time to explore.
Oh, before you finish eating up your meal, one of the doors bursts open, and Dilbert rushes in, and he's all out of breath, and he's looking around frantically. And the first thing that you notice about Dilbert is his hair has gone shock white. Like it's just pure white. It used to be a dark hair, and now it's just pure white. And he comes in and he rushes in, and he's looking around. And he goes, oh my God, Mr. Carlos. No, you're not Mr. Carlos. You're Blisco. You're Mr. Blisco. Mr. Blisco, I've been looking for you all over. Oh my gosh. I've been in the Dreamlands ever since, well, I guess ever since wait, how long have I been here? I don't even know what day it is. oh, I think I figured out how this works. And he holds up a key in your hand and he's like, come on, quick. We've got to get back.
I will start following him, and
he takes your hand and he goes, just think about home.
Yep, we're looking at a farmstead in Nebraska.
Oh, yes,
home.
you're looking at a farmstead in Nebraska. The corn is as high in the sky. Nebraska. And Dilbert, all of a sudden you guys were running out of Carlos's dining room, the Arbogast dining room, and now you're running through fields of corn. And Dilbert just stops for a moment. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean your like literal home. I meant like home base. Where we're yes, that's what I meant. Come on." And he tugs your arm, and you guys begin running again. And within an instant, you are in your bedroom, and you wake up, and Dilbert is standing there, and he's smiling. He's like, "I'm back. I'm finally back. Wait, what day is this? Never mind." And he goes running out of the room.
I'm running with him.
Okay. You try to keep up. He's pretty squirrely. He runs all the way out of the main mansion over to the established science building that has been built that you've been over before. He runs up and he bursts through the door, startling the one scientist on duty. Dilbert, what brings you back? This. He holds up a key. He goes, "I think this is the key. It says right here, the key to the Dreamlands." I didn't know what that meant. And then I fell asleep. And then I woke up in the Dreamlands. And then I could go anywhere that I wanted to go. And then I was in Alaska. And then I was in the darkest part of the Congo. And then I woke up in the plains of Ling. And I saw this guy here. This is Mr. Blisco. Do you know Mr. Blisco? Mr. Blisco is a pretty cool guy. He's very important to this big story that's going on, let me tell you. And then I thought about visiting Japan. And guess what? I was in Japan. And then I was in Russia. Oh, that place was pretty scary, let me tell you. And then the next thing I know, I'm right back in.
Wait.
What? Huh? Yes, no, I was right back. And let me finish the story. I was right back in the Arbogast mansion, and there was Mr. Blisco again. And then we ran to, I'm guessing, Nebraska. And then we're here, and it's back. Ha-ha! That's how it works. Yes, that's how it works. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Stephen Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.